Nestled in the Kettle Moraine region, about halfway between Milwaukee and Green Bay, is Wisconsin's road racing gem, Elkhart Lakes Road America. And it is a beautiful sight to see each and every time you come up here, whether it's sports cars, open wheel cars, or this weekend, the NASCAR Xfinity Series on tap for the 20th race of their 2023 season.
The first name on the winner's trophy at Road America will be Carl Edwards.
Reed Sorensen.
Nelson Piquet wrapping himself in the Brazilian flag.
A.J. Allmendinger at Road America.
Is Brendan gone?
Paul Menard is going to win at Road America.
Michael McDowell, the winner today. Unbelievable finish. Jeremy Clements has made it.
Heck of a job, boys.
There's your Road America winner, Justin Allgaier.
Christopher Bell wins.
Austin Cindric of Team Penske. Kyle Busch wins at Road America.
Ty Gibbs pulling away from Kyle Larson.
And there it is, the history of NASCAR Xfinity Series racing at Road America. 13 different times they've been here, 13 different winners. Will there be a 14th this weekend? It could happen. Practice and qualifying come first from Road America at Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Gorgeous afternoon in central Wisconsin. 84 degrees outside, low humidity, just a little bit of wind, and no clouds in the sky. What a great day to go racing. So glad you could join us here this afternoon. A 38-car field will be taking to the track. I'm Dave Burns alongside Hall of Famer Dale Jarrett, and Jeff Burton joins us as well to look at everything Road America and tell you what we see and what we hear on this freshly paved 4-mile racetrack. Now, it's very interesting. The field today has one Cup Series driver in it. It is A.J. Allmendinger, who will be racing at Richmond Raceway on Sunday. He's in the midst of a championship battle over there. We'll talk about him in just a bit. But the championship battle here, one driver to highlight is second-year driver Austin Hill. What a year it's been for him, guys.
Yeah, Austin Hill, 4 wins. He and John Hunter Nemechek have a great battle going for this regular season championship, but Austin Hill has a ton of momentum. The win he had last week, he didn't have the best car, but he found a way to win, and he has been on road courses, on super speedways, every kind of racetrack he's good on, so he's going to be hard to beat.
Yeah, I think there's two things that stand out to me is, especially when I see him win with not the best car, that's championship caliber drivers and teams that do things like that. The other is, don't just think that high-speed tracks, I realize that's where his 4 wins come at, as high speed, but he can get the job done on pretty much anywhere that we go.
4 wins for Hill, 4 wins for Nemechek, and then you can look over on the right and see that the playoff bubble, boy, it's right there. It's very, very close between right now Herbst and Kligerman, just 26 points. So, looking back to the left, Justin Allgaier has won on a road course before. He's won already this year in 2023, and with more on him, let's go down to Matt Yoakum.
And Dave, when you look at the 2023 season, Justin Allgaier looking here to Road America, a place, as you mentioned, he does have a trophy here from 5 years ago, but he told me this place is so different now with this pavement. He did the track walk, and he noticed a number of different things, besides just how smooth this racetrack is with the surface, but also they've run some races here. He says you can see where the line is because the tar layer has been somewhat worn off, but if you get out of that line, that's where it gets a little sketchy and treacherous. So the big thing, the game plan for this session is simply not to flat spot your tires, not to hurt your race car, but try to gain as much knowledge as you can in a short amount of time on this fresh paved racetrack. But the one thing that he did notice also, and keep in mind, guys, usually when you got the rumble strips, they're more like a bumper or a cushion. He says with the new pavement, it's right up to those rumble strips. So look for guys to use that, Dave, as something more of like an extra couple feet of pavement.
Matt, this track hadn't been repaved since 1995. They started the project in October. And DJ, when you do something like that, it throws a lot of new things at the drivers and teams. Matt just mentioned a couple of them.
Yeah, and when you go there as a driver and you've become accustomed to certain bumps and areas and how your car reacts, and then all of a sudden you have a smooth surface, what is the grip level like if you miss the groove by just a couple of feet? Or how is your car reacting to braking points? points where before you were high braking and you had to get off of them because the car would get upset there, Jeff. So a lot to take into consideration in a short amount of time.
I think also, DJ, I think now that the racetrack is freshly paved, what Justin Allgaier right now is trying to figure out is the grip difference between those bumps, the rumble strips that you see on the side of the racetrack and the racetrack itself. They didn't fix those strips. They just paved the racetrack. So historically, there's not much difference. But on a repave, you have to be careful not to get your wheels on the wrong bumps and then get yourself in trouble. And the braking zones, you mentioned it, anytime we went to a road course, we were pushing to find the limit on braking. And new asphalt moves that limit deeper into the corner. And the fear is flat spotting tires, losing a set of tires in practice, wheel hopping it, trying to find that limit, using that fresh pavement for more braking force.
See in the upper left-hand corner, the clock ticking. This is a 50-minute practice session for all cars. All 38 entrants have the opportunity to spend 50 minutes out here each lap, around 2:15 or so, 2 minutes 15 seconds. And then they will go qualifying. 2 15-minute sessions in 2 groups in round 1, and then round 2 will be a final 10-minute session for the fastest 10 cars. Speaking of 10s, here he is. AJ is at the track.
Well, he is certainly the favorite for this weekend. You look at the success he's had, 4 straight top 5 finishes. He's been a road course master. And, you know, I see, you know, the one-car Mayer following him. Great move. Like, Sam Mayer is a good road racer. He has a ton of Trans Am experience. This is an opportunity, in my opinion, for Sam Mayer. He's raced at this race. Oh, no. Big damage here with Brandon Jones.
That is huge damage. Spoiler hanging off the back there. You see the tethers keeping the deck lid. Sorry.
Oh, that is
still
so
attached.
That is so disappointing because now, and you know, I don't see where he's registered a time on track yet. So he has just gotten out on the racetrack, and now you've lost. With all that damage, you've lost this entire practice, DJ.
Everything.
We have so limited practice in today's schedule. To lose that is not just for this weekend, but for the races upcoming, that is a big disadvantage.
Yeah, and it's been that kind of year. He's 54 points out of the playoffs right now. You know, it just hasn't been what he expected as he made this move to junior motorsports. And, you know, this just kind of goes along with the things that they've been having happen to them and just basically put themselves behind each and I won't say each and every weekend, but a lot of weekends.
Oh, Sheldon Creed with trouble as well. Smoke pouring out of the 2-car.
Yeah, he's got rear damage. Yeah, I don't know if those two were involved in something or 2 separate incidences, but he had trouble with the back of his car.
Yes, that limit you were talking about, Jeff, finding that. Did you? Yeah.
This is coming out of the kink and down toward Canada Corner for turn 12. Oh, Creed just gets it off track.
Yeah, see, that's just that, you know, is it a matter that you're just carrying more speed there than what you did before because of the new pavement? Or is it a situation that you just got out? I mean, Jeff, you know, as we went to a lot of ovals, a newly paved track, if you miss the groove by 6 inches, then all of a sudden you've got less grip in your right side tires, and in that case it could have been his left side tires that he got there.
Earlier this year, the IndyCar race run at this racetrack, those drivers consistently talked about if you get out of line, you're in big trouble. I actually thought that more races on the track would take some of that away, and these cars don't make as much initial grip, but you know, so far 2 wrecks with two of our better drivers tells me that you better be paying attention.
Practice just underway at the newly repaved Road America. 2 playoff contenders, each above or below the cut line with trouble already. Practice just underway at Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin for the NASCAR Xfinity Series, a 50-minute session which has already seen drama for a couple of potential playoff drivers, and now yet another driver, Brett Moffitt. He is in the heat of trying to get into the playoffs, and his 25 car is off same place as both Creed and Brandon Jones, just exiting the high-speed kink.
Yeah, this is not the start to this practice these guys wanted. I mean, it just sets you back so far for the weekend. Brett Moffitt sitting in a dangerous position. I'm surprised they haven't thrown the caution yet.
And there he goes. So Moffitt, to his point, is 49 points below the cut line. Mathematically, with 7 races to go, he could still do it, but it'll be tough. The win is the way to get in.
It's a little bit like Creed's, just
a lot the same.
Yeah, early in that corner, you're carrying so much speed, trying to get to the S part of the corner, and you just get off groove and get off track a little bit, and you're in big trouble.
Yeah, and it's a place that, you know, if you can stay in the throttle, more the throttle for a longer period of time right there, even though I haven't raced there, you've been able to see over the years that that's a place you can really make up time. But, you know, there's a, as we've seen with this and with these cars here, very dangerous part of it. These cars, well.
There we go again. Catherine Legg is off.
Say that about all the corners.
And that's exiting the carousel, a long right-hand sweeper. We talk about these different parts of the track. Why don't we show you the Road America 4-mile layout here in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, and get a better look at what it looks like from up above. We mentioned it's in central Wisconsin. Here's a quick look around the 14 turns. And DJ, then we'll dive down into turn number 1, the first high-speed braking zone. Yeah,
the only part I like good is from the start-finish line down to 1. That's straight and really easy. That I can handle that. This is a kind of the action corner, especially on the start of the race and the restarts that we'll see. It looks like there's a lot of room down there, but it runs out quickly.
Yeah, Jeff, turn 5 is another heartbreaking
turn. Turn 5 was last year. There were a lot of incidences right here. Drivers trying to make it 2 wide, 3 wide, getting the right sides on the curb, having trouble braking. You get really slow, and then you have to launch up the hill, leaving turn 5.
This is turn 12, Canada corner. This is right after that trouble area we've been talking about, the high-speed king.
Yeah, this could be another real trouble spot for these drivers because, once again, you talk about carrying more speed because of the grip that you have there. I think that we could see a lot more action in that part. And some drivers are going to find that maybe as another potential passing spot to where they could outbrake someone there.
So 1955 is when they laid this track out. It has largely stayed the same. That is part of the charm of the place. And that's one of the things that helps this place become Catherine Legg's favorite track. But that was not her favorite moment exiting the carousel.
No, it wasn't. But it's great to have her here. What a, ran the Indy 500, fastest lap ever by a woman in qualifying. And, out here in this stock car, it couldn't be any different. The 2 cars could not be any different. And, it's just, look at that. I mean, she's just in the gas trying to make some speed and just got off track. But that, that's what we talked about, DJ, is if you're going to, there's a risk versus reward.
Yeah.
And if you're going to go fast, you have to be right on the edge of the risk part.
Yeah.
If not, there's no speed.
Jeff, you mentioned the Indy 500 this year. On the first day of qualifying, high pressure to qualify your car in so you don't go to the last row shootout. And Catherine did this, a 4-lap average at 231 miles per hour, the fastest 4-lap average ever by a woman at the Speedway. And she breathed a sigh of relief, and a big smile got her car into the 33-car field that day.
That is so stressful to watch. I mean, when you talk to those drivers about how hard those 4 laps are, how difficult it is, it's stressful to watch. I can't imagine sitting in that thing, that rocket ship going that fast and having to do it 4 laps in a row.
Catherine's raced a lot of things. This is actually her 5th stock car race ever in the Xfinity Series, so she is learning the ropes here in these big, heavy stock cars. Kevin Lee, you were at the Indy 500 as well this year. You saw some of that.
Yeah, you brought me here from the IndyCar world. I've been here many times with Indy cars and sports cars. First time for a NASCAR weekend. Really looking forward to it. And since I'm here, we've got some IndyCar regulars and some that did it a long time ago, like A.J. Allmendinger, whose last IndyCar win in the Champ Car World Series came here in 2006. And we were not expecting to see A.J. in the Xfinity Series this weekend. And I chatted with him before he got in the car. And he's back on pit lane now. And he said, I'm really a little bit surprised everyone's making such a big deal about this. He said, I've gone to Richmond before and been been really, really bad. So what's 20 minutes of practice going to do? In fact, the last time I was there before this previous Cup run, we were great in practice, thought we had it figured out, awful in the race. So let's give Derek Kraus a chance. Maybe he'll get the car in a good spot. We feel like this is better overall for the program. This is about fun. It's about winning. With Caliber Racing, it's about trophies. We've got a much better chance at a trophy here. We're going to enjoy Saturday, and then we're not giving up the weekend. We're still going to go Richmond and score as many points as we can.
Kevin, thanks for that. And as we take a look at AJ's numbers in the Xfinity Series on road courses, it's important to note that he is the first car, DJ, below the cut line in the NASCAR Cup Series as they get headed toward the playoffs there. So that's why everyone's talking about it. You know, why make this back and forth and not concentrate on Richmond and qualify and practice your car?
Okay, so I've read and reread, and I can listen to all of that. In my mind, if you're in the Cup Series and you have a chance at the playoffs, I don't care if it is just 20 minutes, and I don't care if it hasn't been your best track. You go there and try to be better. You've proven you're the best at this. Look, he's got more wins on road courses in the Xfinity Series than the next two guys combined, second and third place guys. They've got 10 versus his 11. We know how good he is. I realize that he's got two road courses coming up in the Cup Series that could be hugely beneficial for him. But running this Xfinity car here does nothing to make him a better road racer coming up at Indianapolis and Watkins Glen. So it's just curious to me. Yeah, they can do whatever they want. It just looks different to me because you have a chance to make, there's only 16 drivers that make the playoffs in the Cup Series, Jeff.
Yeah, and only 5 races left, right, to get it done. And it's so hard to make the playoffs and to be in that position and that close. It goes against what you and I have seen in our entire career. Like everything else gets dropped for Cup. If something's going to get dropped, it's not Cup. And in this case, it's interesting. I think it does show a mindset of Colleague. Like, what we kept hearing AJ say during the week is the word fun. Like, we're going to have fun. And I think that when they brought AJ back into the Cup level, he was having so much fun at Xfinity that he made a big deal out of, hey, if we're going to do it, we're going to have fun. And it may just be not letting the pressure of Richmond be too big. Like, let's just go race. Let's show up at Richmond, do what we can do, and we're going to have fun. And it's just a different mindset because our jobs were never fun. it was intense, you know what I mean? And it's just a different mindset. And we'll see. Maybe it all works out.
Yeah, even when we won, it was stressful,
Yeah.
But you did get some fun out of that.
Well, we probably weren't as good as AJ on the road. Well, we weren't as good as AJ on the road.
I know I wasn't. No.
Few are. We saw his numbers earlier. We were talking about AJ Allmendinger. We showed you Cole Custer on track for a bit there. Fastest so far with a 2:13.5. That is just a little beyond the lap record here at Road America for an Xfinity Series car. This is Josh Berry.
That's turn 5.
Yeah,
that's the corner we talked about earlier, and we saw a lot of this last year. It's a heavy braking zone. A lot of people had trouble in turn 5. That tells me that's going to continue.
Yep.
And that's good for us because that's fun to watch. Josh Berry had a really good race last week. It ended up not working out for him, but it was the race, the speed that we thought they would have all year. And there's been a lot of pressure on this team. This is one of the teams that we thought would be a championship favorite, and they brought it last week. They really did, and that can be a tipping point for this team. Hey, we can do it. Let's go to work. A lot of racing left to go, and he's going Cup racing next year, but there's a championship to win this year. And I think last week goes a long way to their confidence in knowing they can do it.
Taking a look further down on track, Sammy Smith in the 18 car for Joe Gibbs Racing, being chased by Austin Hill. We talked about him earlier, and I saw that damage roll out of screen there. Jeff, did you see who that was?
Yeah, I think it's Ryan Sieg. Left front damage.
A chaotic start to practice here. They don't get too many practice sessions in the Xfinity Series anymore. They were offered 50 minutes here this afternoon. And already, I think that's 5, maybe 6 cars that have had incidents. It's again coming out of the carousel.
Oh, yeah. So, he's not even into a wall or anything. That's just the damage. getting off the track there.
Very bumpy off track. You certainly want to be on the newly paved Road America.
Yeah, that's the preference. Although there were a lot of road courses, I found that there was a lot of stuff besides pavement around.
You know, I know that we're supposed to keep the cars on course. I get it. But wow, that's a big penalty to pay for getting off course. Look at the damage done to this car.
Ryan Sieg is below the cut line right now, needs a win to get into the playoffs this year. He's been there before. 39 car is certainly capable of doing that, but an inauspicious start to his practice session. That is Brandon Jones' car. He's already had trouble. It looks like are they making that a backup car?
Yeah, they're getting that one ready to get.
Making that the one in the trailer.
Getting the stuff they need, because they're probably not prepared very well with a backup here. I would have to say that most of the Xfinity teams, what they have for their backup is probably not something. Here we go.
And more trouble again. This time it's the 4-car of Kyle Weatherman off track, and he gets it back underway. Matt, have you found one of those unfortunate drivers?
I have. I've caught up with Brandon Jones. He's back from the Infield Care Center. The primary car, not looking great. Backup car, a lot of work to do. But first, let's go back to what exactly happened. Any idea?
Yeah, I mean, really, really tough. I mean, we all kind of came through turn 9. This is a warm-up lap, came through turn 9, and it's blind coming off that corner. So there was 2 cars ahead of me. The one in front of me had went off. Like, I noticed he was off in the dirt pretty bad, off a 9. So we just kind of checked up, and I was just going to throw that lap away and kind of regroup. Went through turn 10 really slow and felt like I hit oil or dirt, something. I mean, he obviously probably got the underneath of his car pretty good, whoever that was. And so, who knows, put oil down, put dirt down, and didn't see it coming, surprised me pretty big. And through 10, if you dip off in it, you're in trouble. So not a great place for that to happen. I hate it for these guys, man. Gosh, they're put through the ringer this year for sure. We've had a lot of speed these last couple of weeks. I've been really, really proud of what they've been bringing to the racetrack. We've definitely stepped our game up, and this is not a great start, but that's okay. We got tomorrow, long day left. I know these guys will turn this car around and get it ready to race here, and we got some other good race cars here as well, so I'll lean on my teammates a little bit here and try to figure out if they learned anything in these practices.
Well, he'll learn on his teammates. Let's take a quick look real quick. You can kind of see this now is going to be his primary car for tomorrow. It comes to the racetrack without the engine. A lot of work to do. Also, if we come around, you can look at the hood. There's also going to be some vinyl that's going to be put on the hood, the nose, the front fascia. A lot of work. They're going to swap out some stuff inside the cockpit area, going from the primary, which they had that car all set up with the driver aids inside. They're going to swap that over to the backup. So a lot of work left to do today. A very gingerly pace here, because they know their day pretty much on track is done, and they're going to have to rely on their teammates for what they learned, what this new pavement requires here at Road America.
Yeah, so their day is done. No track time, right? The first time he'll sit in this car is when they drop the green flag for the race, and wow, that doesn't seem fair. But when all of this went to limited practice, in order to have some cost savings, if everybody had backup cars that were 100% prepared, then there is no cost savings. And so there's enough time between now and then to get this car ready. But if every car had engines in them, what are you doing? You're not saving any money. It's lost them all of their time, but it's the same for everybody. Would they have been able to get a backup car out in time? Potentially. In the old rules, but it would have been unlikely. So just save some money. Don't put spare engines in every single backup car in every single trailer.
Yeah, that's where you really have to rely on your driver to do the right thing. Go out, test this. It's a new surface, and trying to get used to that just a bit, because it is going to be completely different. You might remember, the old surface might have been worn out, but you knew that you couldn't charge the corner as far, and you knew exactly where you could and couldn't be, and that's not the case here. So you have to put a lot on the drivers, making sure in knowing all of these things that you don't cost yourself and your team opportunities like this.
Yeah, and when you're not learning. And there's a lot of road course races coming up and on the schedule in the Xfinity Series. So this extended practice not only allows you as a driver to try things, to learn, to be a better road racer, allows your team to try things.
Yeah.
And Brandon Jones and his team are learning nothing right now, and that's a disadvantage. And here we go again, the 51 car, Jeremy Clemens.
2017 winner. He didn't do it like that.
Well, guess what that is? That's turn. Well, what corner is that?
No, that is
not turn 5. Yeah,
that's turn 8.
That is 8. It's just a heavy braking zone.
Well, I was going to ask you that earlier, Jeff. Okay, we're talking about a 3,700-pound stock car. They do put, bigger brake packages on for the road courses, right? But woeing one of these cars down, it's not easy.
No, it's easy until you try to do it better than somebody else. That's where it gets hard. And these cars, unlike the Cup cars, DJ, where they have independent rear suspension, these have a solid rear axle, and they do not brake well at all.
No. No, and then once again, if you're going off of your previous braking point, or just saying, I can get this far into the corner, and all of a sudden that's too far right now because of that extra speed that you got from getting off the previous corner better than you had been before in carrying that speed. So you're actually faster than you were, and then all of a sudden you're too far. And Jeremy Clemens, who is a past winner, one of the 13 winners that we have here, such a great day for him and his family-owned team.
That's another way to break,
battling to the end. Oh, my gosh.
Got a Matt tip there, but you and I were here that day, and he had come back from so far, DJ, putting on his last fresh set of tires later than others.
Yes.
And came charging toward the front.
Yeah, he actually caught us by surprise a little bit. We had a lot going on that day, but he was out leading the race, and we're like, oh, but having no idea that watching it unfold live, that he actually had enough time that his tires were going to make that much of a difference. But what a great battle and race that was.
Jeremy's on pit road now. Crew checking it out. You can see the clock ticking in the upper left. 21 minutes remaining in this only practice session for the NASCAR Xfinity Series as they get ready for tomorrow's 180-mile race here at the 4-mile Road America. Qualifying will come up just a little bit later. We'll take a break here and come back for more action in Wisconsin. NASCAR fans know if you're going to rep your favorite driver or take advantage of the most amazing deals, you know where to go? The NASCAR Shop. Greatest selection of t-shirts, hats, die-casts, and more by visiting NASCAR.com/shop. And there might be some new names to rep here this weekend. A couple of unfamiliar faces in the field. This is a familiar face, both on NBC Sports and behind the wheel. Parker Kligerman in his full-time effort in 2023. And he has a shot at the playoffs. But it's got to be nervous times, Jeff.
Well, it's not where he wants to be, but we talked about the schedule and the road courses coming up, and Parker has a tremendous amount of confidence in his driving ability on the road courses, and can he take advantage of that? Can he find a way to get in front of Riley Herbst, who is the guy he's racing right now? I will tell you that Riley's become a good little road racer too, so it's not going to be easy. But hey man, that's what's great about racing. It's not supposed to be easy, but you can expect to see Parker pushing hard tomorrow.
Yeah, and these next few weeks are going to be important for him. I think he really got it's a good stretch, potentially a good stretch for Parker to really showcase his talents and get the job done. We know he can get the job done. It's just a matter of going out and finishing these off when that opportunity is there in front of him. This has been a good track for him a couple of times as he's raced here.
Look on the left there, and you can see he's been as close as 6 points behind recently, but finished 9th at Pocono, dropped back to 26th. He's the first driver below that 12-driver playoff cut line.
Yeah, that restart at New Hampshire really hurt. He had a pretty good car running right there around 9th, 10th, and then on that restart, things got jammed up, and he flushed the radiator basically, and as everything stacked up, and that put him behind, even though the other guys helped him out and kept him a little bit closer than probably what he would have been without them having problems. But he's battled and he keeps doing that, and so this is going to be a fun watch for us. These drivers are going to be nervous times, but they just have to go do what they do.
Kevin Lee, tell us, is Sage Karam nervous right now?
I'm not sure, but I know he's pretty quick, and he's got experience here at Road America. Won a race back when he was a teenager here in USF 2000. So tell me about your first time in the Sam Hunt racing car.
Yeah, no, it was great. The 24 GR Supra Sam Hunt Racing Carousel Online car was pretty decent. We went out did about 4 laps and had a little off-track excursion, unfortunately, and just have to fix the front splitter a little bit. The track is a lot of fun. The new repave, Road America did a great job. It's got a lot of grip, and that's kind of what caught me out. You know, I think there's so much more grip that I anticipated, and the car in front of me in the carousel put some dirt out on the carousel, dropped the inside tires in the dirt, and right when I hit the dust, it just kind of, I lost the car a little bit on the exit, and yeah, damaged the splitter a little bit, but should be good to go for qualifying, and yeah, I think we're gonna have a good run there.
So some of these weekends don't even include practice time. How much has it helped someone like you? You've done a decent amount of stock car racing and ran well here last year, but just to get some laps before you qualify.
Yeah, no, I'm always feeling good when I can get to the track and have a good 50-minute session like this. You know, a lot of the tracks we've gone to, you know, we get 20 minutes of practice, and a lot of things, you know, happen in those 20 minutes, and you don't get a lot of laps, unfortunately. So for me, it's good when I can show up to these ones and go to these tracks that I've never been to before and get as many laps as I can before qualifying, so it's not as foreign when I get, you know, behind the wheel for qualifying. But you know, unfortunately, I took myself out of this practice for now, but hopefully we can get this thing going and get back out there, do one more run before qual, and strap on some new tires and be ready to go.
All right, thanks, Sage.
Thanks.
Sage grew up in Pennsylvania before he came to stock car racing, did a bunch of other things. This was last year at the track. Had a little Noah Gragson incident here. Oh.
Yeah, that one got Noah in some trouble because of all of this. You know, Noah was frustrated and turned into Sage, and then that caused this big wreck. A lot of very unhappy people with Noah. Sage Karam being one of them.
And rightly so. Yes, I think. Yeah, we went from a Road America race to Talladega crash all of a sudden.
Sage has got a lot of races ahead of him. He's only 28 and finding a few starts this year. This is his 7th in the Xfinity Series this year and 20th overall. This will be his teammate this weekend. This is Massachusetts' Kaz Grala.
5th on the board on speed. No big surprise. Kaz is a really good road racer. He's right there on pace too. He's run 6 laps, and that's just maybe a 3 or 4 tenths off of some of the best teams and drivers. So right there in position.
I have to tell you, I have consumed fire department coffee. It's good. So in addition to enjoying Kaz in the red and white car, supporting our first responders and the coffee brand. It's very good.
I take that as a big thumbs up, since I seldom see you without a cup of coffee, Dave.
It's a good point, DJ. Hey, Matt Yoakum, earlier we saw Sheldon Creed with issues in the 2-car. He's back on track.
Dave, we documented the significant damage to Brandon Jones' race car, having to go to a backup. The situation much more positive for the 2 team and Sheldon Creed. Now, he spent some time here on pit road, and they were trying to seal up some of the gaps from the damage when he went off course. And he said something very similar to what Brendan had mentioned. He had grip, and then all of a sudden, it was like flipping a light switch, and then it became black ice, and then he just slid right off course. They had to seal up the wheel well area. Some of the crush panels had come loose. It took big chunks of bare bond to try to seal that up as well. But, you know, DJ and Jev, all your years behind the wheel, you guys have so much priceless knowledge with your racecraft. How long to try to get back into a rhythm when something like this happens to a younger guy? And how do you get back into rhythm? And what advice would you give?
Well, I think the biggest thing is understanding that you have a limited amount of time. You see all these things happening around you, and you don't want to put yourself and your team behind anymore. You kind of got fortunate in this situation that there wasn't a lot more damage, so you're able to get back out in practice. And I think you just take that into account. Go make some laps, get a good feel, and then try to go get a reasonable qualifying effort. I'm not so sure that Sheldon isn't a little bit feeling some pressure. His teammate has won 4 races. You know, he's battling hard to try to stay inside the playoffs. It's easy to do. A lot of us have been in that situation. I mean, that just, adds pressure, and so you start pushing yourself a little bit more. And so, not saying that's what caused that, but some of the things that I've seen happen recently just makes me think that he may be going through a little bit of that. He's a really good race driver.
Yeah, you know, he won the 2020 Truck Championship, and he came Xfinity racing, and it just hasn't been as easy as the trucks came to him. Now, I'm not saying it's not car. I don't know what it is, but the success has become much more difficult. And to your point, at the same time, his teammates won 4 races this year, and that there's no question that wears on you. It wore on us. We had teammates that were outperforming us at one time or another, and it's like, what is wrong? Like, why can't I get going? And especially a young driver. You have this little amount of time to prove to the world that you can do it. And, you know, first impressions mean a lot. And so when you're trying to make a living doing this, you tend as a young driver to push a little too hard and get yourself in trouble. And it's not as easy as saying, hey, just back up a little bit. It's fine. Be 90%. But that's not his nature. Sheldon Creed, when he won that championship in trucks, pushed. He was an aggressive race car driver. But that aggression has not been as effective for him in this series. He's getting there. He's better this year, in my opinion, than he was last year. It just takes time.
He is yet to win in the Xfinity Series. In the last 5 road course races, he's led the most laps of anybody. So he certainly can be up front, as can this driver. Laid down the fastest lap so far here, a 2:13.3.
He just did that. That was his 9th lap. His fastest lap. He hadn't been the fastest, but made some changes to the car. I'm sure he made some changes as a driver to adapt to the grip level. And now he's, well, you can see he's pushing hard.
Yeah, he is now.
Not trying. Yes. Now he's up to P1.
California's A.J. Allmendinger. Again, if you missed the story at the top of the show, he'll be racing Sunday at Richmond Raceway. The only Cup Series driver in this field all the way over in Wisconsin, trying to bring home another trophy on the weekend for Matt Collig and everyone at Collig Racing. And hits the timing line. That does not improve for him, but he's quickest overall. Practice continuing, just a few minutes left now before they get ready to qualify to set the field for tomorrow's race. Do you know Wisconsin for Schlitz beer? You might. How about the 2018 Brewers? Yeah, they got into the playoffs. Of course, the Packers and Lambeau Field, a big part of Wisconsin sports heritage. And yes, so is cheese. There's cheese on everything. They're very proud of it, and they will make sure that you get enough of it. Wisconsin, great country for the Packers and great country for Road America in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. A few Packer fans out here today. Beautiful 640-acre complex. There are all kinds of places to take your camper or just your lawn chair and view the 14 turns, the 4 miles of Road America, and we can't wait to bring you the race tomorrow afternoon on NBC. Looking at Leland Honeyman Jr., the youngest driver in the field from North Carolina, gets off track here. Oh, that's tough.
Yeah, 18 years old. First start here at this racetrack in Xfinity. Doesn't look like a lot of damage, though, DJ. He stayed in the gas.
He
did not
did.
get stuck in that sand trap.
Yeah.
He's been watching some video. He's like, stand in it.
The best anyone's run through the carousel when they haven't been on the track, I suppose.
Yes.
From what we've seen today. Yeah, Leland is bounced around a little bit coming up through the NASCAR ranks. This will be just a couple of starts so far in 2023 for him, and he's also run a Truck Series race, and again, the youngest in the field this weekend. Sammy Smith, he's young too, but he's already been to victory lane. He's one of the drivers who will have a spot in the playoffs here coming up for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. That is 7 races away. DJ, we've talked about this before. That's a 7-race playoff championship. Things happen fast.
They sure do, yeah, and you can hear the tires squalling right there. Gosh, I was just waiting for that to go off course. But yeah, this young man, a lot of talent, you know, and I think that if there's something that could possibly hinder him as he starts the battle in the playoffs, it's just not as much track time as a number of the other guys that he's going to be racing.
I'll tell you what I like about what they've done recently is a lot of top 10s consecutive. And
yeah.
You know, for a young guy, he got off to such a fast start. Won early this year, and then, then it kind of came off the rails a little bit, but they've kind of steadied the ship. And top 10 finishes, although you want to win every race, top 10 finishes for a rookie driver, that's what it's doing. It's selling the ship. It's getting things calmed down, getting ready for this run.
Yeah, laps and competitive laps are more important right now than him even getting a second win or racking up top fives, Yeah, this young man, that he seems to be, every time he goes back to a track that he was at last year or has been this year, you just see the improvement from him. And that's, solid finishes, and that just means that he is learning from what he's got there. But the only way to learn is to be around for the entire race and see how the track changes and adjustments you can make to your car.
You know what I like most about seeing Connor Mosak's car here is he's got a sponsor that came on board in Chicago. This is a local Chicago company, and they apparently like what they saw at the Chicago street race from Connor Mosak, because they are back. Quarter Pipe and Supply. Nice to see them stay with this young driver.
I like Connor Mosak. Really nice young man. I had a long conversation with him yesterday, and it's pretty interesting, his pathway. He's done a little bit of everything. He's never really stayed anywhere for a length of time in a series, and contemplating his future, what he thinks is best. But he's trying to make this thing work. He's putting a ton of effort into it.
Kevin Lee, you've got more on Connor?
So he has a background in Trans Am. He's won a couple of races in TA2, so I think some people would think, well, yeah, he's a road course ringer. That's the background that he comes from, but that's not the case. He's a stock car guy. He's from Charlotte. Many list Charlotte as their hometown, but he's actually from there. No one in the family comes from a motorsports background, so when he got into racing, the normal path, legends, cars, late models, needed to learn how to road race, so that's how he ended up doing TA2, and he's been here in a Trans Am car, and he said he's adapted pretty well to it, still learning. This is the last of his 3 scheduled opportunities for Joe Gibbs Racing, which has won 3 of the last 4 races here. So this is a great opportunity. He says, I'm trying not to put too much pressure on myself. I've got to ride after this, but he knows this car has a chance to be really good.
Something else that's interesting to me about him is that most drivers we hear about today are like, hey, man, when'd you start racing? 6, I was 7, and he was well into his teens before he ever sat in a race car. And, so you think about the experience that he's given up. And I know people kind of laugh at a 7-year-old or an 8-year-old racing, but they're learning. They're gaining experience, and you're having to make up for that. Trouble here.
Under a minute remaining in practice, and this for the 08 car. Stephen Parsons behind the wheel of that today. Alex Labbe was scheduled to be the driver. He had travel issues, so Stephen jumped in, and now he's going to jump out.
He was 20th fastest. So Stephen 21st fastest. So Stephen was doing a good job with speed, as he always seems to do.
That's a shame. That looks big time bad. Stephen has run with his team in the past, just a partial schedule for him this season, in and out of the series. Does a lot for the sport when he's not racing. Good to see him back behind the wheel in this fill-in role, but
look at all of the fluid.
There's a lot of fluid
on the hood, underneath it.
So you have to wonder where all of this started, the fluid coming out. But it looks like that as you get further down, well, no, there it still is too. Is there some of that on the track somewhere?
Yeah. That's right. See if everybody makes it back around safely. Practice is over. You saw the red and black flags displayed at the start-finish line, so drivers will complete those laps, and the 50-minute session will be over, and they will get their cars ready for qualifying.
The only positive to this right here is that Stephen did a good job, and they know what their car, the speed the car has in it. If Alex gets to the racetrack with his travel problems and he was going to start the car, he was going to have to start in the back anyway. So, yes, there's a tremendous amount of work that's got to happen to this car right now. However, it's not going to really hurt their starting position. Yes.
That was coming up the hill. No speed limit coming up all the way to the start of pit speed, basically when it flattens out. But that happened late.
It did. It's hard to know, though. He could have been in neutral coming up the hill. I don't know that. But clearly mechanical issue. But that is a lot of oil. It's a lot of work ahead for this team.
SS Greenlight Racing, they will go to work on this car. Their team car, Catherine Legg, has been on track and off track. She will get a chance to qualify in just a little bit. And lo and behold, Justin Allgaier, former winner here, he eclipses the times of others in practice. He was quickest. And we'll see if he can back that up in qualifying. Coming up. Beautiful downtown Elkhart Lake, and of course Siepkens Resort and the associated bar, very, very famous in the annals of racing around here, whether it's sports cars, open wheel. Look at that picture and all of the memorabilia in there. DJ, if these walls could talk.
Oh my goodness, yes. Yeah, thank goodness they can.
glad they can't tell the stories from last year.
At Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, practice is over for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. It has been nothing short of eventful. Dave Burns, Dale Jarrett, and Jeff Burton alongside this afternoon to bring you all of the action. And it has been action-packed. Justin Allgaier, the quickest there. Riley Herbst with a nice lap right there at the end, DJ.
Yeah, good starting spot. Jeff was talking about this earlier. That's so important here, especially for those drivers that are around that cut line for the playoffs, and really fast. And you've pointed out that he's really been, his road racing skills have gotten a lot better, especially this year with what we've seen.
7th place to Josh Balicki in practice, a local driver from Wisconsin, running in the Cup and the Xfinity Series. Good to see him back on home turf. Matt Yoakum's caught up with the fastest in practice.
And Justin Allgaier would love to add a little bit more history of his own there to Siepkens. If you looked at today, sort of like you're in school with only a midterm and a final, you aced the midterm, P1 on the board, put a set of stickers on to turn in that great time. But looking ahead to the final and qualifying, that sets up the whole tone for the weekend. How do you feel going in?
Feel pretty good. I mean, obviously our brand professional Culture Camaro is really good right now. Jim Pullman and these guys have done a fantastic job. Everybody back at G Motorsports. Practice was interesting. The track was a lot different than what I kind of anticipated. It's obviously a lot hotter than we all expected. I've not seen you sweat. I've known you for a long time, and I think even you're sweating today. But, proud of the effort. I'm not sure for qualifying. I mean, we put that set of stickers on, but now you got to go back out there after sitting around for a while and make another run. But proud of the effort, proud of the team. And obviously, the goal is always to be as fast as Xfinity 10 and G, and I feel like we've done that so far today. We just got to keep after it. Qualifying is going to be probably the most important piece of this race this weekend. We know that starting position, keeping that track position all day with the controlled stops is going to be important. So we've started off well. We just have to execute all day, and all day tomorrow, and we'll be in good shape.
All right, the big key, executing all day, and that's what he will try to do tomorrow, chasing his 4th win, guys, on a road course.
Matt, thanks. Now let's take a look at the action that happened outside of Allgaier's great lap in practice. It started early, and it started with Sheldon Creed.
This was not a highlight for Sheldon Creed. Damage to the car. They did get the car back out in practice, 19th fastest.
Catherine Legg off track here outside the carousel, DJ, and then Brett Moffitt around in the 25.
Yeah, a lot of this happened in a lot of the same part of the racetrack, just getting used to this new pavement here. Ryan Sieg didn't hit a thing except for got off course. You can see how much damage to the left front.
This is the 27 car getting off track now. Keeping it going, Jeff Burton gets it back on track. And Kyle Weatherman through the gravel outside the carousel and keeps it rolling.
Brandon Jones early in practice never made a time lap. Said he felt like he ran through something, and here's the damage we talked about with Alex LeBay's car. Stephen Parsons started this practice, but we believe that this is not Stephen Parsons getting out of the car. So Alex LeBay looks like he made it in time to get in the race car. Unfortunately, a lot of mechanical issues there.
Kevin, who have you got?
I got Riley Herbst, who was 2nd quick in that practice session, and maybe a little advantage. Those were not sticker tires that you ran on.
Yeah, we were actually finding a little bit of stopping power and brake issues that whole first practice, the whole first 2 runs, I think. So that last run, we finally, I think, hopefully got the gremlins out of the braking system, and I was able to hit my marks and slow down where I wanted to. And I feel like we have a pretty fast Monster Energy Ford Mustang here. It's a little bit hotter than we all thought, but this new asphalt's pretty gripped up too, so it's kind of throwing all of us for a loop right now.
He's got a chance to get up front and solidify his playoff position. Remember, he's right on that bubble in the top 12 right now.
Everything is so important, Kevin, right now, and Riley knows it. Qualifying coming up. Quick break here for the drivers and teams to get set for what's about to happen at Road America.